Thank you, everyone, for submitting your memories of Grandpa, Dad, husband, however you'd refer to him. Thank you, Talia, for putting this all together. Your hard work does not go unappreciated in our entire family. So thank you for that. And I guess this clip is taking after Grandpa, making sure to be thankful. And I don't know if I did a good enough job smiling the whole time, but that's who Dad was. He made sure to thank everyone for anything that they did, make them feel appreciated. So I appreciate all of you, and Talia especially for putting it together.
Hi. What can I say about Daddy? He was the love of my life. 50 years of marriage. We knew each other a little longer. And he was the ideal husband as far as whatever I wanted, I got. He took care of me and he loved me. And whatever whim I had, going to the beach, going whitewater rafting, going snow tubing, all things he hated, he would do because he wanted to please me. It's hard for me to express how I feel because I'm still rather numb that he's no longer with us. And it's hard for me to accept. But I just hope he knew how much I loved him. And he is going to be sorely, sorely missed.
I remember last spring sitting together with Daddy watching Danielle and Ephraim's MTA baseball games. He was so impressed by Danielle's pitching and so amazed to watch the boys get on base so often. He was super proud of them, cheered for them, but would always tell them the most important part was being a mensch on the field.
Okay, so there's a lot of things, obviously, to say about Grandpa. But just in this short moment, I wanted to just talk about a few things. One, that the first thing that's just coming to my mind is the U.S. Open. 3 times a week, he would drive me to the U.S. Open. He would stay sometimes. He would just pick me up. It was not on his way at all, but it was his pleasure to do it, and he made me feel so good about picking me up and everything. And I loved being in the car, speaking to him, playing his country music. It was really, really fun. That's just
a little bit about Dad and Grandpa. He really just couldn't have done enough for us always. Even as a kid, a teenager, carpooling and buying us our first cars and always taking care of everything. And he just loved to watch us enjoy it all. And that was the most amazing thing. Like any little fender benders or issues or late phone calls for help, he just, are you okay? Got it taken care of. It's all fixable as long as we were okay. And he could just be there to be the one to help. And I think that just gave him so much pleasure and obviously just made him the best dad for us. And then seeing him with my babies, the best grandpa you could ask for. He would spoil them to no end, insisted to buy them their first pairs of shoes, and they're treating them to their first sweets and chocolate milk and pizza. And I know we talk about that a lot, but it made a big impression in our house. And
when I think of Grandpa, I think of how much of a giver he was and how he was constantly always giving to other people and how he genuinely made everybody around him feel so special. More recently, Grandpa used to drive me back to the city all the time. He never wanted to make me feel guilty and he never wanted to put any stress on me. He would just drive me straight, not even ask, help out with all my stuff. He set up all my apartment, and genuinely to his core, he was a man of giving and a man of his word and his routine. And we will always remember all the amazing things about Grandpa.
Grandpa, one of the biggest things that he was about in his life was caring for every single person. Either knew them or didn't know them, Jewish, not Jewish. Treated everyone like he was their best friend, like he was their best friend. It didn't matter who the other person was. He just loved everyone. He treated everyone with such respect and such happiness, and just made everyone feel like that they were best friends, even though they might have only known each other for 30 seconds. But he said, "Hi, thank you, have a good day," to the guy at 7-Eleven. And I know it was something he really wanted to pass down to his children and grandchildren. And, well, I hope I've taken his message, what he's tried to teach, his morals, what he's tried to teach me, and I can use it throughout my everyday life to remember Grandpa and remember and keep his kindness going in the world.
Hi everyone. What I thought about Grandpa was that from the first moment I met him, I was like, this guy is my type of guy. And he was really, really, really welcoming from day one. He was nice to me. We had good chill sessions when me and Rebecca and I went over to their house. We just sat with Bubby and Grandpa, and we literally schmoozed for a while. It was great.
Hey, Leo, can you share a nice memory about Grandpa? Talk nicely.
He bought me pizza and chocolate milk and ice cream, and we go, and he'd take me to the ice cream shop, and he'd take me to his house.
Really? And what did Grandpa have for you at his house?
Wafers.
What do you miss about Grandpa?
Take me to Pop.
Take you to Poppy's? Did Grandpa give nice big hugs?
Yeah.
Did Grandpa call you every day?
Wait. Tell that.
Wait. Did Grandpa call you every day?
Yeah.
And what did he always say? Hi. All
He
right.
said I have wafers for you.
All right. Blow a big kiss. We miss you, Grandpa.
We miss you, Grandpa. Bye.
Daddy and I had a very nice, open relationship that we both enjoyed. It definitely was an amazing time working with him and watching him with all the generators and all the people, and how much he enjoyed it, how much he enjoyed discussing it and talking about it, and how much he just enjoyed being around people even when they were utterly annoying. He might sometimes vent to me about a certain person, but would never do it in front of them. Always treat people with the proper respect. Always give people the benefit of the doubt that maybe they just had a bad day. But at the end of the day, he put up with all of it. And it was impressive to see. And hopefully I learned a little bit of something so that I can follow in those footsteps.
I remember the time when Grandpa was thrilled to teach me softball pitches and was really excited when I told him that I used them effectively in games.
I remember how much Daddy enjoyed bringing us bags of nosh when he came for Yontif, just like his father used to bring to his house. He would bring us lentils and mixed nuts, chocolate-covered raisins, chocolate-covered nuts, pistachios, and he enjoyed just sitting in the sukkah and enjoying them with everybody together. And then the kids would always ask, what about these candy-coated licorice pieces that nobody likes? But Grandpa said, Bubby and I like them, so we'll get to enjoy these too.
Favorite memory of Grandpa was when we would play baseball during Pesach, and Grandpa would watch us on the back deck, and he would umpire the games and give us tips, and it was a lot of fun, and he had a lot of pride watching all of his grandchildren playing the sport he loved.
Okay, so here are a few of my daddy impressions, and I'll give you a heads up, I'm terrible at them, but Grandpa was the best mooer. Yes, like as in a cow. He would go, how would he do it? He would go, moo. It wasn't just moo, it was moo. He also did the best train, and we live next to a train, so we know a good train. He would go like this. Much more patient and slow, but I'm feeling silly right now. Ready? That was a good one. He would always call and say, Leo, it's Grandpa. Leo. Oh, no, wait. Oliver, it's Grandpa. And it was always just so distinct and cute. And the boys would just giggle. And then he would say, is this Leo or Oliver? Which one? He didn't know. So funny. And then always he would end every message, every phone call. Love ya. Bye. Mwah.
Love ya. Love ya. Bye.
I remember for weeks after my bat mitzvah, Grandpa saying how much he enjoyed the night and seeing me so happy.
When Grandpa made the decision to get an iPhone, he was very overwhelmed by all the things it could do, and he often did not know how to work it. So I had the privilege of being Grandpa's point person for when he didn't know what to do with his phone. And he would call me up and ask me, Talia, how do I send this picture? Or how do I access my voicemail? I'm not quite sure how to do it. And for me, this was a great opportunity to give back to a man who was always giving. Grandpa gave to all of us, always helping us fix and always helping us by saving the day. And these little phone calls were my way of helping Grandpa out with something that he wasn't all too good at. And it really made me feel like our relationship was a two-way street of giving. And I will really miss those phone calls.
Very nice, very nice. That's what my grandchildren learn how to do.
The first memory that comes to mind was on our trip to Italy, when every single morning Dad would come down in the hotel wearing the biggest, brightest USA t-shirt and baseball cap, so everyone around would know that he was a proud American. And we all know that he was, from the cars he drove, the baseball he loved, and more recently his politics. He loved his country.
I remember how happy Grandpa was at the Project Ezra dinner. He was so happy to have so many of us together, and it was so nice to see he and Bubby acknowledged for all their community service. I know they made a big deal on the video that night, thanking Grandpa for all of his work with the safety sashes, something that everyone throughout this community really appreciates.
We were a few weeks ago. I mean, one of the first moments is me and Rebecca and I, when I first met them, we went out for dinner to a place in Englewood. I forgot what it's called, but he was trying to teach me how to eat, meaning he saw I didn't know how to eat well. He was like confused, like, what is this 23-year-old, 24-year-old guy not knowing how to eat? And I explained it to him, and he was okay with it. He didn't push me to learn how to do it. And the next moment I would like to talk about is that we went out, the last time we had this chus to be with him, was we went out to the doghouse, and if I don't get my food in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Rebecca knows this, I'm hungry, and I need my food. But Grandpa, on the other hand, literally 45 minutes, he's waiting there, he still doesn't get his food, and we have a flight that night, and he's like, yeah, you guys go, I'm going to wait here, I'm going to wait for my food, it's fine, don't worry. And that is a person who clearly worked on himself. No one just has that midah of patience from day one, and that's an unbelievable thing we could look up to about him.
There were so many people who shared with us after Shiva that the stories that made such an impact on them that they were hearing were how much Grandpa always shared with everyone, how much he loved them, and how much nachas he got from his children and grandchildren, and also how much he cared for every single person that he encountered. So he wouldn't just go to the bank, he would bring them cookies and treat the people in the gas station as though they were his best friends. And in addition, he just had such a simchas hachayim. He had such a joy for life. Everything was exciting for him, whether it was the OxyClean or the non-iron shirts or even just his commute to work every day. And if you are watching this video, there's no doubt that he loved you. There's no doubt that he would be so proud that you are continuing his legacy of chesed, of kindness, of treating other people as though they are the most special, important people. And we are thinking about all of you from Cleveland. Lots of love.
I remember when Grandpa came over for my 18th birthday only a few weeks ago, and he told us all the stories about the day we were born, and he also brought over a fresh, delicious 7-layer cake like he always did for all the birthdays.
My favorite memory of Grandpa is when he used to get us these test trucks for Hanukkah.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Then we have the ramp comes down.
Oh gosh. Aww. How cool it is.
Second, then this baby.
What does that do?
Lights go on.
Aww. Okay.
Lights go off. And 1 second, not finished yet. Goes up the ramp.
I don't know if Grandpa said this to other grandchildren or even children, but at every family event, Grandpa would come over to me, he would single me like this, and he would say, you know you're my favorite granddaughter, right? And I would be like, I know. I don't know if he did it for everyone, I'm sure he did, but he just made me feel so special, and every time we were together, he'd be like, you're my favorite granddaughter, you're my favorite grandchild, you're my favorite grandchild. And it was just so cute. It made me feel so good. Obviously, he loved all the grandchildren and all the children, but it was just something that he knew I would appreciate, so he did it for me. And I just, thinking about him every single day, and life's not the same without him. I really miss you, Grandpa.
One of the biggest ways Grandpa impacted me personally was through his competitiveness on the baseball field and how he loved talking about baseball. We always thought it was hilarious. Make fun of him all the time for how over-competitive he was in softball and how much he loved the Braves, even though they were oftenly pretty bad. And how he taught me the laning. I'm the only grandchild that we got to teach laning to, and his special, strong emphasis on every single word. Also something we made fun of him a lot about. And I just recently saw a video of me at my bar mitzvah, laning exactly how he does, and just made me feel like it's part of Grandpa inside of me that I'm never gonna lose. How I get to lane the exact way he did.
A couple more things about Dad. I also felt the same way he did about beaches. Allison and Mom and Leo and Oliver had fun at the beach, and like Dad, I just didn't want to go anywhere near the beach. I don't want to go anywhere near the beach. Something also that Alice and I often talk about now is that Dad always told stories about his parents. He loved his parents very much, and he always made sure to share with his kids and grandkids how important family is and how important it is to remember where you came from. So thanks again, Dad.
When I think back to the MTA dinner just a few months ago, I remember how much nachas Daddy had, telling me that he went to BTA. It's really the same as MTA, all part of the same legacy. He was really so proud. And he enjoyed sitting at the table, watching the Clemson game, rooting with the boys, hoping that Ezra would come out happy at the end of the night.
It was so special to have Grandpa at my bar mitzvah with me. I know how seriously he took diving with a minion and diving in general. He passed that down to me, and overall, he was a great role model to me.
Yeah. kids at Pesach. Grandpa always enjoys sitting on our deck, watching all the grandkids play baseball together in the backyard.
Benjamin and I, for many years, had the privilege of playing on the same softball team. Benjamin, you had the hard job of having to calm Grandpa down in between pitches or help him wipe off the ball or do whatever he was doing. He also had to get him to try to not yell at the kids behind the backstop too hard. But at the end of the day, he was a fierce competitor. He came out there, was looking forward first to win the game, then to have fun with his sons, and then eventually grandsons, which he played with all of them, I believe. And he enjoyed every part of it and every bit of it. And he was unapologetic about his level of competitiveness. And we all learned a little positive and not as positive things about him on the field.
I'm wearing the sweatshirt you got me. Yeah, Grandpa loved to spoil us. How's the car holding up? How's the sweatshirt? How's the wafers I sent home with Leo? Everything. We love you, and we'll never lose sight of that. And we just miss you every day. All right. Mwah. Love ya. Bye.
Yay!
Good job.
Times when bright early in the morning, Grandpa used to take us to Poppy's. In the afternoon, bowling when he used to get really competitive, trying to beat Bobby. And teaching us all these things. And for each birthday, he used to get us an amazing Butterflake 7-layer cake.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandpa. Happy birthday to you.
One of my favorite memories of Daddy, there's so many. One of my favorite is after I get hit by a car and I'm 8 years old. And there he is, he's interviewing me on the couch after my accident, and I'm home. And it's kind of like a public service announcement, and there's the video going. I don't know exactly who's going to be watching this video, but he wants to teach people how to cross the street, unlike me. So he says, you gotta look left, then look right, look left again, look right again, and a third time look left and look right, and then you could cross the street. So while he's interviewing me on the couch, and I'm really not saying much, and he's interviewing me, and all of a sudden he stops and gets up and says, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kisham b'sod tzvanu al sfiras ha'omer hayom shiva yamim lomer. And that's just Daddy. Number one, he's very into safety, and he has to teach the world how to cross the street. Number two, he's interviewing me and loves using his video camera that was so heavy. And number three, the second he thinks of doing a mitzvah, he stops what he's doing mid-sentence and he pops up and says and does the mitzvah of Sfiras Omer. So I just thought that was a cute little story. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's videos. Take care. Dad, miss you so much. Love you. Take care. Bye.
Hi, you see Grandpa? What do you do with Grandpa? You give kisses?
Yeah.
Yeah? Give Grandpa face a kiss?
Yeah.
Mwah. Miss you, Grandpa. Yeah. Did Grandpa visit you all the time? And he called to check up on you? And Grandpa bought you trucks and cars and fixed all your toys. Yeah. That's right. Grandpa used to change all the batteries. Yeah. And Grandpa used to come over and bring you pizza. And who introduced you to chocolate milk? Grandpa. Aww. Okay. Oh. Okay. Love you.
My favorite memory about Grandpa is when he used to drive his truck to our house in Cleveland,
And he would let us go inside the truck and honk the horn all we wanted.
Another thing I would like to add is that I may not have had the schus to get to know him for so long, but Baruch Hashem, he was able to be at our chasana, and just from being at his levaya and seeing so many people, and I was obviously crying at the levaya, and that just shows how much a person he is. I only get to know him for a few months, and I was already crying there, but seeing how many people came through that door throughout the Shiva house, and seeing the stories that people were saying was how much I learned about him, and I had the schus to learn about him, and we should continue to learn about him many years.
I will think of Grandpa every time I eat pistachios or Honeycrisp apples. They were foods we enjoyed together.
I love Grandpa, and he bring me chocolate milk, and he does, and he was special. He was so special. He did buy, and he bought me the dinosaur cup, and you said no.
So as I got to play softball with my dad over the last 30 years, nothing made him more excited besides winning the championships, till he struck out one of my good friends and became Sports Star of the Week. You never saw a 70-year-old happier. I think he has about 15 of those newspapers in the house and told all his friends about it. As kids, we used to go hiking. Every once in a while, my mother liked to see the leaves change. And if you were 100 feet from the edge, you were too close for Grandpa. He worried about us as children at all times. We always thought that he didn't want us having fun, but we later learned that all he did was care about us and our safety, and no view of anything was worth hurting yourself. And he completely didn't understand Kilimanjaro.
Looks like it's gonna hit you. I love when Grandpa came to all my baseball games. After the game, he'd always come over to me and shake my hand and be like, "Great job, young man."
I really respected the fact that he was a very powerful man, very strong man, and very much stood by, his beliefs. I also am very lucky that I married his baby daughter, because he looked out for us like no other. Remember, he would always come into the city no matter what time. He would babysit. He would never question like having to pick us up or bring stuff in to the city when we lived in the city. Once we lived in Teaneck, Dad always wanted to spend time with the boys, and that was it. Albert almost dropped off the couch. And he just, all he wanted was family, and I respected that. And he was always looking out for us. And I just feel very lucky that I married his baby daughter so that I got cared for as much as he cared about Allison. Love you, Dad.
Grandpa would always tell the boys, if you wear a yarmulke, it's an opportunity for you to make a Kiddush Hashem everywhere you go. And this is exactly how Daddy led his life. Whether it was dealing with the hundreds of people that he worked with throughout the country, or the guy at the gas station, the lady at the bakery, the lady at the bank, the people at the buildings department, or anyone he interacted with, Daddy always treated everybody with a tremendous amount of respect, which made a tremendous Kiddush Hashem everywhere he went. That is something that I will keep in mind forever and hope to learn from and emulate.
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Hamalach Hagoel Osi. I don't have a voice. Hamalach Hagoel Osi Mikora Yevarech Es Hayarim Yikamei Lahem Shiri
Oliver, of course, is named after Grandpa's father, and that gave him so much pleasure. And he would always come in and say, Yitzchak Or, how you doing? And that made him so, so proud. He was really a light, you know. He would come in and sometimes just be super quiet, but the kids loved having him here. He was always proud and happy, and no matter what happened, he had a story to tell his friends, and I would post a cute picture or tell mommy something that happened. Of course, the next thing I knew, Daddy was calling. Tell me more, every detail. And, you know, it's times like little things that we're going to really, really, truly miss him. Like Oliver's trying to jump, and I just know Daddy would have loved to watch. He tries to get his feet off the ground, and it's just the cutest thing in the world. So Grandpa, we're always thinking of you, even these teeny tiny little jumps in life. You're here with us, and we love you, love you, love you.
Every time I'm going to eat mint lentils, I'm going to think of Grandpa, because that was one of the special treats he liked to bring over before Yontif for all of us to enjoy together.
Happy birthday to you. One more time. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I remember he buy me wafers.
Grandpa bought you wafers?
Love ya. Bye.
Cheese.
I'll take that. Yeah, Hana, give him a card. I'm sorry.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
About 4 years ago, when I opened up the Teaneck Doghouse, we all of a sudden knew that we can do our budget based on how little my dad traveled. He forced my mother there at least twice a week, and sometimes they would even go in separate cars so he can schmooze with the patrons while she just wanted to go home. So a night out for them during the week meant going to one restaurant for meat, for dinner, Doghouse, and him having to stay there and make sure everything was okay and report back to me everything that he found. I actually enjoyed every second of it because it was another thing that we could talk about. I only wish that he enjoyed alcohol a little bit more so we could have a drink or two while he was there as well.
Love his smile, like his smile is still with me. Just thinking about what he said after I choked and my mom saved me, and he used to thank Hashem before Shema. And every time I say Shema now, I think about Grandpa, and I think about what he's doing. I don't know even what that means, but I think about Grandpa before I say Shema, and I'm just so grateful that he really cared, and I want to be that person that cared just like he did for other people, and especially for his family.
Grandpa would always call me before every test to make sure it went well, call me to make sure I got home safe. He was always caring and looking out, and really took me under his wing these past couple months and made me feel like I was his own child. And all those long car rides we would take together was amazing bonding time. Also, another memory from when we were little, Grandpa used to take us out on our 7th birthday to any restaurant and teach us how to use a fork and a knife. He used to say that now we were old enough to act like ladies and gentlemen, and we had to do it properly. So he would sit down there and patiently teach us how to use our fork and our knife, and it's been a great Gellis family tradition.
Yeah.
So one more thing, Grandpa's very big on giving people the benefit of the doubt. I think it's another really great trait, really great quality, and really nice thing that I think we should all try to keep going in this world, because there's a lot of that being lost. There's a lot of Grandpa knew so many people and all these interactions of kindness and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Someone needs to keep all of his great deeds going, and I think that's on us children and grandchildren to pass on throughout the rest of our lives and hopefully in further generations to come.
I remember he come to Oswald's birthday party. He played games.
I was looking through my text messages with him. We were in Barcelona last year, and we were getting stuck with flights. And he texted me, "How's it going? You need any help?" And that's someone who cares. He was an individual who cared about every single person I know. With my dad's back, he would randomly call him, "How is he doing?" and stuff like that. That's an ish emes, an ish yashar, and a person who cares about you and who cares about people, and not only thinking about things that aren't important in life, but he was thinking about what's important. People are important, not things are important. People are important, and he valued that, and he valued people, and he valued mitzvahs, and he valued Torah, and he valued his family, number one, and he valued other people as well, whether it didn't matter you were a Jew, you were non-Jew, and he was a person we really looked up to, and we miss him very much, and he should only have nachas from upstairs, and only iluli neshama, his neshama should keep going higher and higher, and Rich Hashem, we should have tchias amesim bekarav mamash.
There were a couple of lessons that Grandpa taught me that I will always remember. The first one is, he would say, "Jessica, a problem is not really a problem if it could be solved with money." His only concern was anyone having health issues.
On a totally different note, every single holiday, every single time we got together, there always was a cake from Butterflake or a beautiful tablecloth for a chag. He always just was around our house trying to fix something, learn with David, teach somebody something in math. Were always those knife cutting lessons. There were always just life lessons, little life lessons going on, whether we realized it or not. And I am utterly, utterly grateful to those little things.
Okay, also, whenever Grandpa was watching the kids, it was so cute. He would always, he would get this, overwhelming excitement, proud feeling, whatever, and he would do this with his teeth. He would go, "They're so cute." And I could hear it, and I'm terrible at imitating, but always with the, teeth closed, the big grin, and just go. It was so cute. Also, Grandpa loved to, oh no. Like this, for example. Oliver would get into the dirt and make a big mess. And Grandpa would say, "That's what they're supposed to do." And he loved watching them grow and get silly and crazy. And it was just the light of his life. Miss you, miss you.
You could always spot Grandpa in a large crowd because of his big red Donald Trump kippah and his strong presence. His presence really always just livened up every room. He would not leave until he said hi and good Shabbos to everybody around him. Everyone, especially in Romer, when he would come for Shabbos, would be like, "Oh, so nice, your grandparents are here. I love seeing them." And it really just showed his true character, how he would really liven up every single room, and his presence was so strong wherever he went. He always made a good impression and put his best foot forward.
He just Costco, and then he took this to me. "Love ya, bye."
Wait, what happened? Grandpa took you to Costco, and then what happened?
He goes in the store, and then he buy me this.
Bought you a big truck? Show us the truck. Whoa.
And Leo, what happened when your truck stopped working? What did Grandpa do?
What did he do?
Fixed it.
Grandpa fixed it?
New.
At the end of the day, anyone who knew my dad loved him. They felt special just being in his presence, and he made them feel that way. If everyone could greet people with a smile, and when they ask them questions about how they are and how they're doing, and actually take the time to listen to the answers, that would be something that we all got and learned from Grandpa. So as we conclude this video, and we thank everyone for contributing their memories, we should all make sure to take away some of the life lessons that Grandpa taught us. Thank you.